I think, of the finest shoegazing dream pop in the Northern Hemisphere, just before your sold-out gig, the beginning of your UK tour in the Ulster Sports Club in Belfast. Guys, excited for the beginning of the new tour?
Very excited.
God, that was very good as well.
Yeah.
It's easy when you're reading it.
So excited.
Yeah, it hasn't really hit us yet.
Yeah.
And
I
it's
think
like-
because we were home this morning and just drove up, and we're going to be home tomorrow.
We haven't even got Greg's yet.
It doesn't feel, it's like every time we've come up here before or gone to the UK or anything, it's been a whole trip. But now it's like, we're here now, and I promise you by the end of this interview, I'll be sitting here with my leg hopping because it'll hit me, we're playing.
Yeah.
It's so nice
You're not on a
to-
school trip anymore.
Exactly.
It's so nice as well to be playing in Belfast because we record all our music here.
Just around
And
the
like-
corner, literally.
Yeah, and like we got to play with Fontaines in Belfast, and that was like our first, big proper gig. So it's like Belfast, is almost like a second home to us.
Yeah.
It's such just a lovely city.
And tell us a little bit more about where you recorded, who you recorded with.
Down the road.
Just down the road,
Literally.
Start Together Studio with a guy
Chris
called
Ryan.
Chris Ryan. So he produced and recorded both of our EPs, the one that's out
Since
and
the
the
very
one that's
start,
coming out.
even
yeah.
the
we-
singles.
even, yeah,
We
the
had
singles.
him mixing just through email, like just sending
That's
little
so
cute, flirty emails to each
I
other.
like it.
He signs everything with "Thanks, babe." So
Well, you're
That
doing
means
well.
money.
he's a keeper.
He's a keeper.
He is a
Well, he's
keeper.
making some good music as you are. He's making your music sound the way that you want it to. So I guess what I'm going to start with is, for the uninitiated in the ways of the new dad, who are you? And that can be literally introduce yourselves. Then who are you as a band? Where are you from? Both geography wise and where's your sound from? And why? Why does everyone need to hear your music?
That's the big question.
Introduce
Why?
yourself.
So we can eat.
Yeah.
I'm Anla.
I'm
Nice to meet
Julie.
I'm Sean.
And I'm Fikra.
And together you are.
NewDad.
Oh, we had to get the cheese in there, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you are NewDad, and I believe you formed during secondary school. Were you doing some kind
Yeah,
of music,
we did.
practical assessment?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
were in the same music class, and I hate playing alone, so Anna played bass, we could play the drums, so we were like, makes it a bit easier on all of us, and then Sean joined about nearly 2 years ago now.
I'd say 2 years ago.
Yeah, I was a year above everyone, and I'd gone to college and done a bit of music tech and stuff, so I wanted a band to record demos with, and then that slowly became me playing with the band, and now I'm here. So
You're here in Belfast, in your second home of Belfast.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, what I think everyone's going to want to know is, what grade did you get for that practical assessment? Do you remember?
I think
Did we get
in the practical,
fairly
I think we got it was a good score, but I think our overall grade brought us down.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah, because they didn't give it out
I nearly
separate.
failed it in the leaving cert, so that says it all.
Yeah,
Well, I bet you
What everyone's looking forward to tonight.
the practical
You're in
was
for a
everything.
show.
Like our written exams, I know
See,
if
I'm
you're the
so
same
bad
as
at
me,
music
it was awful. God, that was terrible. That was one of the worst
My
exams.
practical was what made me not fail.
Yeah, the
And
same,
everything else.
same here.
No,
that was it. The practical.
I just
saved
like
us, I think.
the Gerald Barry stuff.
Yeah, well, that's pretty sick. In fairness.
King.
What a legend.
We don't have a lot of time because you're due on the stage quite soon, so I won't ask you to elaborate on the Gerald Barry stuff unless
Just
it's
give him a
really,
listen.
really
Just
interesting.
give him a listen
Yeah,
yourself.
it's
Piano
crazy.
quartet number
it's
one.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a vibe.
Sounds all right. Well, listen. You can send your music teachers who needs theory when you put it into practice.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
your
Nice.
Steve Lamac's session was amazing. I first heard you actually on Steve Lamac.
Oh, right.
Was it self-produced single? How was that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was
I
our
remember seeing
first.
demo NewDad, and I was like, God, am I going to be able to find this anywhere? So I listened to it on the show, and I was like, furiously looking for it because I just fell in love with your sound.
Yeah.
How did you?
That was our first single.
That was
Just-
done in Julie's room.
Yeah, we just I
did-
got
we did-
the basics, got Ableton, had an interface and speakers, and that was it for the first
we
few
just
tracks.
we just
did
recorded
that.
it all in Julie's room. I think we had a day to just get the drums in. We had to
For how it was, I live an hour outside of town with traffic, so there was one day Sean was like, we need the drums for how, and I recorded on my phone, and I was like, that's the beat, that's the best I can do. We literally, I set up the phone on the far side of the room, played the drums, it sounded awful, but thankfully he was able to pull out the right things from it. That was the
very
start of
DIY.
lockdown
Very
where
DIY.
none of us could see each other. So
Yeah.
And it
extremely
was
DIY.
like phone calls and emails with Chris to get it
Yeah.
done. So
And phone calls and emails between ourselves even, like we couldn't meet up. It was crazy.
I think like that's something that's really interesting because it's your first sort of single that in the wider world. I'm sure that you've written and played other stuff.
Much
from...
worse.
Well, I'm
That will
I
never
know
see
you
the
know
light of
yourself
day.
better. But to do that and to have such a great effect from it and a great sound from it that people have fallen in love with it, and not being able to be in a room together to record that, you must be so proud of yourselves because that's sort of again. Shove that to your music teacher.
I think at the time we were like, okay, we've recorded it, this is the best we can do, we put it out there. And like only looking back on it now, I'm like, we actually did a pretty good job, you know, for like that's one of my favorites of our songs.
Idiots.
Like even compared to the newer stuff that was like properly recorded, it's still my
and
favorite
then
song.
we got a chance recently then to revisit it as well. Last time, like we recorded the EP, our second EP recently, and we were able to, while we were in the studio, just re-record some guitars, re-record some drum bits, and touch it
But
up,
even
and then
then,
we
it
released
was
a video
hard.
of that.
It was hard to make it. Like
It was pretty
get
much
in a place
it
where
was
we were
there
happy
already,
with
yeah,
it. We
yeah.
were like, it was
We
like
were
just
already
building on
happy.
something that we were already like happy with. So we were like, why are we doing this?
Yeah. We just wanted to make it a little bit bigger because when we play it live,
It's quite.
it's actually huge, and it doesn't quite come across as much on Spotify. Like you'll hear it later on, it's a lot bigger live. So we just wanted to make it a little bit more of that. But even at that, there wasn't much we could do.
That's how we plan on selling tickets. Is you have to come see.
Yeah,
how
you have to see
proper it is.
live. It's
This
better
is what I'm
live.
really looking forward to because you can get that impression from hearing it, but I can't wait to be in there and see it get up, take on legs, and walk around the room, shake us all by the heart, give us a kiss. That's what
after
I'm
the
looking
set. We'll
forward
be
to.
doing that.
Yeah.
After the set.
I mean, in these COVID times, it's an elbow bump. You know what it is.
Yeah.
You
Give
kiss
me a
over
fist bump.
Zoom.
So we're talking about your sound and the live version of your sound, the recorded version of your sound. How did you come upon your sounds? Because yes, you got together within that. I keep referring back to your abuse, I'm going to stop doing that now. So I will edit that out. So how did you arrive on your sounds? Because I imagine you have different influences, your community where you grew up, the geography of it.
I think what kind of lent itself to our sound was we had some similar interests, but most of our musical taste would be kind of vastly different. And so we're all pulling from different places, and then at least it's not like stagnant and you're not just repeating yourselves if everyone likes the same thing, you know. So you can bring a bit of everything, like even in the new EP, Vic is an accomplished trad musician.
Should I do my best?
Terrible at the Irish dancing.
But plays a mean born of her.
Oh, that's
but
the one.
but
That's
as
the
in
one.
for some of our new tracks, we've been incorporating Baron and a bit of Fado Stan, like so.
Yeah.
It's all, you know, we're all always pulling from different places.
Yeah.
I think that's the sign of a really good band and an exciting sound that, like you said, it's not going to be dad rock, ABC, but. And the fact that you've just described to me what you're bringing into the new tracks going forward sounds really exciting. Now, speaking of new tracks, your new track, Ladybird, has over 100,000 streams in under 2 weeks, just around 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You must be so delighted with that.
Yeah, no,
It's crazy.
I think my mum's just happier.
Yeah.
We have a rule where she's not allowed to bring up the streams unless it hits like 100,000 and then 500. So she got to talk about it yesterday.
Yeah, it's.
No, we're delighted. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
getting so much love for it, and people have really been and we love it as well. Like
Yeah.
we're so happy.
Yeah,
with
that was
with-
like one of the first ones we did after our first EP, and that was because it's a bit scary when you go from releasing like a collection of songs
And then when people like them,
and
you're
then you're
like, oh god,
yeah,
I
and-
hope they like the new thing.
and you're starting from the beginning again.
Yeah.
So it was a kind of a comfort to be able to write something that we were proud of.
Yeah, we were proud of it, so that always helped. But I think you are always so like nervous of how people are going to react to new songs, even if it's like my parents be like, oh, that sounds very NewDad now. I'm like worried every time if it doesn't sound exactly like one of the old songs. I'm like, no one's gonna like it. But people
Like
like
sending
it.
a
Really.
child into the first day at school almost.
Yeah.
It's like,
Exactly,
are they
yeah.
going to get on with their teachers?
Yeah.
Are they
Am I
going to
gonna
get bullied?
bullied? Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've been playing it, and like Ladybird, I am so sick of hearing that song because we be playing it non-stop, practicing even for going and recording and stuff. So by the time it's getting to like 2 days before it's out, that's when you're really like, what if this isn't good? Because in your head, it's already gone past the stage of being good, so
Just
you have
noise.
no idea
Yeah.
what other people.
Yeah,
are
you
gonna
can't really
say.
hear it anymore because
Yeah.
you've heard it so much. It's almost inaudible to you. It's
Yeah.
just
You know what's coming next. I know exactly what's going to happen next because I've heard it so many times. So it's
now
just like noise.
practice last week was back to different.
Every now and again,
oh,
I
come on,
slip
Faker,
up.
what was going on with the practice?
Yeah, come
last
on.
week?
No,
I
we
like
all,
to
in
keep them
fairness,
on their
we all.
toes
Yeah.
a little bit, you know. Just
like
No,
a
it
show
happens
they're
to us
tuned
all.
in.
It happens
That's the
to us
trad
all.
musician in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all about the feel, like, you know.
Oh, you just slipped into a jig, did you?
Yeah.
Do you know what? You're playing South by Southwest as well next March.
I know.
Wow.
Yeah.
What excited?
That's
Real.
big. That's
Yeah. We're
Crazy.
so excited.
Crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, just to fucking go to the States, like.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
travel.
like-
That's one of the
Mad.
things we've been loving. Like I've never been to America, and just to go
Yeah.
to America, and like we were in Amsterdam the last week. Like I've never been to Amsterdam, and just going there just to play music,
It's
and
amazing.
then you get to see the
You're
sights
like,
as a
we're
bonus. It's
back.
amazing.
I'm
Yeah.
a proper functioning human being.
Yeah.
I travel for work,
Yeah.
you know?
I know,
crazy.
and talking about travel, you know, it was not that long ago that you couldn't go further than the end of your own
Yeah.
field or garden
Yeah.
or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the fact that you're doing something you love, people love what you're doing, and you're getting to travel doing that.
Yeah.
Could
so
you
true.
ever have imagined that in your wildest dreams? Even when did that seem to become a reality for you?
It still hasn't hit. It's
No,
just
definitely not.
insane.
I don't know. I suppose
It was
like,
always the dream.
Yeah.
Like, we'd always said, you know, if we could make just enough money every year to get
survive.
by, even if we live week to week, but we're playing music
Yeah.
for a living.
That's all
That's
we want to do.
incredible.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we've said for so long that's all we want to do. So now that we're actually able to make that a reality is crazy.
Yeah.
It's a dream come true. It's really cool.
You know, you've garnered lots of fans from, you know, I'm thinking of Jack Saunders and Radio 1, Steve Mac, Radio 6, and I'm sure there are so many others. How did you first get about sending music to them? Because back in the day when I was in a band 100 years ago when Jesus was playing fullback for Israel, you know, you send your demo into John Peel and Steve
Yeah.
Mac. Luckily they got played, not as often as yours, but like 2 plays by John Peel and 5 by Steve Mac did me okay. Yeah, that's alright. It's been a long time ago now, as you can tell. But how did you go about that? Do you think it's easier for bands in the social media age, or did you just literally send a demo? How did you go about this?
At the very start, it was just kind of like, it was completely DIY, you know, like we didn't have anyone helping us, we had no proper connections or anything, and so like we had to literally just find emails of people, whether they're Irish, UK, European, anything, and just try and get it out there. And then like as we kind of developed, we got a bit of a team behind us, and you know, they knew people. But even then, when it all kicked off, like with Steve Mac and with the Radio 1 support, like even they were surprised by the support that they had gotten for us. Like
Yeah.
they were like, whoa, these people really love your music, which is
Because
so
it was
amazing
their fifth
to
song
hear.
out, and then for it to like be on like the B list and then A list, they were like,
It was insane.
this is crazy.
Yeah.
And like a radio plugger who, like, we got into BBC Six because they have the connections already. They've worked for so long. But yeah, for them to be shocked, knowing these people they've sent the music to, and they would have only sent it thinking they'll like this, and they were still shocked that it did so well. It's incredible.
Yeah.
And I guess it's kind of a confidence boost because it makes you realize the music must actually be decent. If people are responding to it, it must be all right.
I can vouch for that 100%, and there's many other people out there who will see tonight. I only got a few more questions for you guys. It has been a meteoric rise, and long may it continue. So just speaking about the tour you're on now, you're going to your hometown in Galway,
Yeah.
and then I believe you're playing the Working Men's Club in Dublin,
Yes.
and then you're travelling over to our old
Glasgow.
friends of Glasgow.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
So
Very
excited.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scotland. Have you played in Scotland before? I'm sure you
Never.
know.
We've never
Never
played in
been.
Dublin.
Yeah.
We'd
Well,
never played
COVID
Dublin.
was-
Yeah, we're very not
Yeah,
experienced.
like the Roisin Dove or Wednesday will be like we've played there so many, and like all our gigs were in the Roisin because it was just you play any local gig you can get. So we haven't played together outside of Galway. There was one gig in Limerick and I couldn't make it, so we haven't played together.
And Sean wasn't in
Whoa.
the band at that
Yeah,
time.
you weren't. So like we hadn't played together outside of Galway until like a year ago, if even. It was more recent than that.
Yeah,
I'd say.
yeah, it was like 2 months.
And we
ago.
played.
couple
We
months
played.
ago.
We had our
Yeah.
first. We had our first headline show the day before lockdown
Lockdown.
started. We were the last gig in Galway,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
we were
then
the last
and then the
gig.
next.
That's
gig,
got to be the name of your next EP, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
Although people might take that the wrong way.
Yeah.
Whoa. And then the next gig we played was Fontaine's in Custom Square down
Yeah,
the road. So,
ridiculous.
so it was a bit like
It was an insane.
Well, one of my
gig.
cousin's children were there, and I say children, he's 18,
Yeah.
and his friends, and suddenly I've been playing you and really excited about you, and suddenly I'm hearing this kind of younger generation of people discovering you and being so excited about your sound. They'd gone to see Fontaines and they're like, oh my god, the support band were absolutely amazing. Have you heard of NewDad? And I was like, have I heard of NewDad? I've heard of Old Dad. But no, yeah. So it's really nice to see it getting traction. I saw recently in an interview you said, you know, this is music for teenagers, but it's something that your dad will come and love as well.
And it was actually a little bit, not a problem, but at the start, there was so many people coming to us, and people at our age would message us and be like, oh, I love this, I heard you through my dad.
Yeah.
And there was so many people who listened to The Cure and Pixies and stuff, thought, you know, could recognize bits of that in the sound, so listen to it, and then told their kids. So we've broken into our own age,
but it's
through their parents.
Which is cool, because I feel like it's like a bit of a stamp of approval, because like, I just feel like the older generation they are picky about their music.
Yeah.
Like,
That's where
they
we
are
got our
selective.
taste.
It's like for them to
Yeah,
be
no,
like,
but
a
yeah,
new band
exactly,
that I like,
like
it's like, okay.
like we
I appreciate
kind
that.
of got, like, you get all your taste from your folks.
Yeah.
Like that's what happened with all of us. And so then to see people's parents
Yeah.
showing their kids our music is like, it's come full circle.
It's so
Yeah, it's
cool.
brilliant.
Yeah, I love that.
Like,
And it
I'm
fits in nicely with the name as well, doesn't
It
it?
does.
It does.
Perfectly.
Yeah.
Like, look at this, it's all like a perfect sound.
Yeah. It's all working out.
Secular, like.
It's all coming up.
You touched on playing with Fontaines DC, and I have noticed there is a plethora of really exciting, hugely brilliant new bands coming out of Ireland, the whole of the island of Ireland at the moment. You're spearheading it, there's Pillow Queens, there's Fontaines DC, many more. And why do you think that is? Do you think it's a cultural thing? It's like a perfect storm?
I think
Thoughts?
it's always been there.
Yeah, I
but
think that's the thing, is there's always been amazing music coming from Ireland. I just
it didn't have the attention.
I think it's finally getting the spotlight. It
Yeah,
deserves.
like thanks to bands like Fontaines and stuff, people are like,
Yeah.
oh, there's
Yeah.
really good bands in Ireland, and
And
now they're
becoming
looking.
easier as well with social
Yeah.
media and
Yeah,
everything.
definitely. That's
But
definitely
it's
part of it.
definitely always been there. Like
Yeah.
it's such, no matter what kind of music you play, there's always music. No matter what town or city you go
Yeah.
into in
Yeah,
Ireland.
music's a big thing in Ireland.
It's
like,
huge.
There's always a
It's-
little
it's
scene of
part of
bands
the way of
and
life.
everything going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we grew up in a little Galway band scene. We'd always play with the same kind of bands because we all grew up together. So it's always been there.
Mm.
And I'm sure it's there in every town and city. And then it's people like Fontaines who are really just
Yeah, and
making
they
everyone
and
else realise.
and they have the
This
nice
is
accent as
me.
well.
Yeah.
It's like it's double charming, like.
But we in Ireland, we are a nation of musicians and storytellers. So even somewhere as
Absolutely,
small
yeah.
as Warren Point, there's always been a music scene there.
Yeah.
There's a trad night in Fagans on a Monday, and young people will go to that with the older people, learn
Yeah.
the banjo,
Yeah.
hear the stories. It's passed down.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
Like
I
I
think
used
that's
to,
We've always
when
had,
I was
like,
younger, I used to
poets
go
and
around the
writers.
country to different trad nights. And that was because I grew up playing trad music.
Yeah, 'cause
but
you kept getting
you'd
kicked
go
out of
into the
them.
yeah, well,
Banned for
but there'd
life,
always
like,
be
from Newham.
festivals in the tiniest little towns that are one street long,
Yeah.
and you'd have thousands of people
And
going.
you see that
just
even,
to
like-
And that's the best. That would be the
Even-
best crack as well.
Say
They're
even
the
like
best
the
crack.
small venues like Mike the Pies. Like,
Yeah,
it's in the
legend.
randomest
Like it's a
place
legendary
ever,
spot.
but it's legendary.
It is,
and there's
yeah.
so many of those spots all over like small town Ireland, and you know.
So like you said, small town Ireland, everywhere you go, crack, storytellers,
Exactly.
music.
Yeah, exactly.
and
yeah.
if you think nothing's going on, you step
There's
one foot inside any pub, there is music, there's laughter. Do you know, it's everywhere. It's ingrained into the way of life. We came from musicians and storytellers, so it's in everyone. Do you know?
Mm.
Right, so I've got one last question, and this is a repeat fanzine question. It's been asked by me to Ash, to even the Strokes, the Libertines. What's best, chips or cream buns?
Chips.
Chips or cream buns?
Yeah.
That's a random
What's a
one, but
cream
chips.
bun?
I don't know, like a bun with cream in it. I was always going to choose chips, so I
Okay.
never bothered about
Yeah.
it.
Like an eclair without the chocolate kind of job.
Yeah, probably just like, yeah, something like that.
This is the thing.
Like a cream with in a bag.
I would say cream bun. Because
Chips.
chips are class and you have
Imagine
chips
if you
every
couldn't have
day.
chips
Chips
ever
is an everyday though.
That's an everyday. The
Spicy-
one time you get a cream bun, you're like,
I think the
Do you know,
the
bit
correct
of jam
answer
in
is
it?
spicy chips.
yeah,
Oh,
spicy
From
chips.
Jan and
yes.
Galway.
That's it.
Chips.
Spicy
I
chips
think
is the
that's
answer.
it. Spicy chips from Jan and Galway.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, that's all we eat. Spicy
Creamy chips.
So when I go to
Creamy
Galway,
chips.
this is where I'm going for my spicy chips.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my god.
And then you go
they're
to Sparch. So you get them. You walk down to Sparch. And
Lush back a few cans.
See once I'm off these crotches, that's where I'm
Yeah.
going.
That's it. That's it. We'll meet you. We'll
Yeah.
meet you to
Yeah,
get
I'm gonna
spicy
shout.
chips.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
I am
Thanks
so
for doing this.
delighted with your
Thanks.
epic rise. I love your music. Good luck tonight. Good luck on your homecoming tomorrow. Good luck with the UK tour, and I'm sure I'll see you along the way again soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
very
Thanks
much.
a million.
Cheers. Thanks a million.
That was fun.